Hey guys, I get a lot of email, and here lately I've been a little slow responding, and I apologize. Just got a lot going on. It's even that way with responding to comments here in the video. So if you've made a comment and I haven't responded, I am sorry. Just life is catching me right now. I'm really busy. But there is one email that I get quite frequently, and I really wanted to put this together in a video and answer it because it's not just an easy one to answer with one sentence or without typing a dissertation. So that question is, hey, I am going down to stay at the beach for a week. We've rented a house. What antenna should I use? What should I do? I want to do what you're doing. I want to go out by the ocean and operate portable. Get me started. Well, this is the video for you. I want to give you some ideas and some things that I've learned over the years of doing this and kind of get you set up for success. And then at the end, I'll kind of give you what antennas I think what are my favorite, what I've had most success with, and things you might want to try. So let's get it all together here and let's build some antennas by the beach. Stick around. Okay, let's get started getting a really good beach antenna built. And the first thing is the fundamental foundation of the antenna, literally the foundation. A few things I've purchased and used over the years. This is a beach umbrella holder. I'm not going to put a link to any of this stuff. Just go. Most of it's on Amazon, or you can do a Google search for beach umbrella holder. There's different brands, different prices. I have used a few different ones and haven't had any issues with it. I think I found this at a local surf or beach shop in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and like $10.99 there, I believe it was. But yeah, I use this on the beach quite a bit. The cool thing about this, as you see, is you twist it down into the sand, and then you put your antenna pole in it. Tighten it up right there, and it's not going anywhere. These are really nice. I like them, and I've used them. I've actually used these on land. If you're somewhere when you've got a backyard that you can put one of these in. When I was over in Europe working in Poland, I left a couple over there. Actually, I used them and would sink them into the ground. These are really nice for building portable vertical antennas. They really are. If you can't find one of those, another thing I use quite frequently, this is a surf rod, a beach surf rod holder. So you drive this into the sand and you stick the pole in it. This works well with, I actually use this also with, I have a medium-sized DX Commander 7-meter pole. I use this with that. It's wide enough to get the 7-meter pole in it. And these, I think I got this here in the States at Walmart for $9.99. So if you're traveling somewhere and there's salt water and there's fishing to be done, if you don't want to, pack this, I guarantee you can find these at a bait and tackle shop or somewhere near where you're going to be at. For sure, you'll find that. But they're great. I used to build this big, just major piece of PVC for my big antenna, for my 10-meter DX Commander pole. It was a piece of a 2-inch or 50-millimeter pipe with a reducer up to a 3-inch or a 75-millimeter PVC pipe, and I would drive that thing into the ground and or the sand and put my antenna in it, and it was okay. At times it would get a little top heavy, it would turn over, and it worked, but at times it would fail. What I learned is that you can take the bottom off of a pole. Both my 7-meter DX Commander pole and my 10-meter DX Commander pole, and I just take a piece of PVC pipe. This is the one I use with the 7-meter pole. Cut it, maybe 3/4 of a meter long. Cut an angle on one end, and then you can just drive this into the sand and then slide the antenna on top of it. I do that with a bigger piece. It's a 2-inch PVC pipe that I use for my 10-meter DX Commander pole, and drive it in the ground. And then when I'm done, it's so easy. Just go over, yank it up, and shake the sand out of it, pack it up, and go. So that's the foundation. And one thing I would highly recommend buy a rubber mallet. You can get these anywhere, and just, this helps you drive it in. Don't try to kick it in, stand on it, or whatever. You're going to hurt yourself. This is money right here. They're really great for the foundation of the antenna. So that's all you need. You don't need guy wires or anything like that. Guy wires, right? Not guide wires. Guy wires. I know people will always comment if you like. Sometimes I'll say millimeters and meters. It's just, I'm old. I'm in my 60s. But yeah, you don't need guy wires or that. You can just put these things. That's the beauty of sand, is it just will hold things in place when you're on the beach, for sure. So you got your foundation. Let's talk about your pole for a wire antenna to put it up. These are available in a lot of places, and they're called crappie poles or squid poles or whatever. This one is a 17-footer. This one I've used quite a bit. It's made by South Bend. It's called a quick stick. As you can see, 17 feet there. Here in the States, they're called crappie poles. Not crappie like they're bad. There's a fish here in the United States called a crappie. And this is, I know over in Aussie land, they're squid poles, and you can get these. You can find these online. I even personalized mine with a sticker. You can find these on Amazon, and I highly recommend you getting a good one. I've gotten, I've done some stuff with some smaller ones. I've got, this is called the Red Fox or whatever. It's a little 5mm ones. These break, and they break. Trust me, they're not that great. The quick stick here, this thing's solid. I've had this one for probably 2 or 3 years, and it's great. So that 17-foot, there's a couple antennas, and we'll go over antennas here at the end of what I think are my better antennas that I've used for being at the beach. But that's a good start. If you're in Europe, I found something when I was working in Europe that I really liked, and it was a travel fishing pole, pretty much. It's in the fishing section of Decathlon. If you can see it, Decathlon Sports. It's a sporting goods store there in Europe. This is called the Lakeside 100 Travel Pole. This is a 6-meter pole, and it is sturdy and stout. It really is. I paid like, I forget how many zloty are in Poland, but it was like 20 US dollars or 25 euros. Pretty inexpensive. This is a 6-meter pole. I really like it. It's made by Kapperlin there. So if you can find this in Europe or any other part of the world, this thing is nice. It really is. That was one of my cool find. I also have for a 7-meter DX Commander pole. This is a really great pole, and I use this quite a bit. The thing about this pole here, though, is hard to travel with. This, even though it's a 7-meter pole, a little over 1 meter long still, collapsible. So that's a great pole. I love Callum stuff, DX Commander stuff, because my number one go-to is the 10-meter Expedition. This thing's a 10-meter long pole, and this thing packs in a suitcase. It's awesome. As I showed you there, easy to put up with a piece of PVC pipe. You take the bottom of it off and just extend the pole first, get the pole together, take the bottom of it off, and you can build so many great vertical antennas with a 10-meter telescopic pole. And I bought that one. Callum's never given me anything. I'm not trying to give you a link or anything. Just go find DX Commander and find that pole for sure. If you don't want to build a wire antenna, you want something simple, hey, a 17-foot telescopic whip. This thing will be a great quarter wave vertical for anything from 20 to 6 meters, if that's what you want to do. Problem with this is you're going to get a mount. You're going to need a ground rod or something to drive into the ground. And that's cool. If you're living nearby, if you're driving, and you can pack that in the car. Yeah, great thing to have. It really is. They work well. And for a resonant antenna, you can trim that thing up and down. If you can check SWR, get it resonant to what band you want to use, and you can have a lot of fun with it. I like them. I use them quite a bit. If you follow the channel, they're great as well. As far as antennas themselves and some other items, I love verticals. If you're going to get by the ocean, you want to use a vertical for sure. I mean, some people say, well, I'll try to infed half wave. I've used infed half wave by the beach, successful, great antenna. That's great antenna anywhere. If you're traveling and going to the beach, you want use the number one advantage there, and that's the saltwater as a ground plane because of the RF properties of the reflective RF ground properties of the ocean and the saltwater itself. So verticals are the way to go. One vertical I really like, and using the crappie pole, is a quarter wave vertical, and I like to build a quarter wave vertical for 20 meters. 20 meters is the band I like to use on the beach the most. I'll get into why here in a second on that, but 20 meter band is a great band for DX in the evenings and in the afternoons, late afternoons, early evenings. It seems to be the band that I've had my most success on. Another great antenna to build if you're traveling and you want to put something together is if you're low power QRP guys, is their tri-band vertical. It uses the same length of wire as a quarter wave vertical for 20, about 16 feet 4 inches. And you can, I've used this on the beach in Kauai, Hawaii. I took a crappie pole with me, a small one, and put it up. And what I did is I went to the Walmart there on the island in Kauai and bought a roll of duct tape and a painting stick that you would paint with. Drove that in the ground, duct taped the pole to it, and built the antenna with that. It had some great success. That's a great thing. That's a great little travel antenna to have there with you. If something lightweight, easy. If you're going to use QRP, that's a fun antenna. And go on QRP guys. I think it's QRPguys.com. Look for them, and if you're interested in that, great little antenna. As we're moving on out of the quarter wave, and another thing too, the quarter wave vertical, you can just use a banana clip or whatever. You don't need a whole lot to really put that antenna together. That is really your scratch it out quick and eat, down and dirty antenna to build. And I've got videos on how to build those, as well as all the antennas I'll mention here as well. Good thing to have, though, as you're moving up and stepping up antennas is a 4-to-1 unun. With the 4-to-1 unun, a couple great verticals you can build are the Rivikoff, which is a 25-foot vertical, and or you can also build the 17.5, or what it says, 17.5-foot vertical for that. Now, one thing I've learned from experience, I used to listen to the experts and think that I'd have to put out all these radials or whatever at the beach. One is all you need. I'm speaking from experience, just one piece of wire. If you're next to the salt water, and put that wire as close to the salt water as you can get it, maybe even kiss the salt water. I know a lot of people see me, I put out a pool noodle and wrap the wire to it here when I'm in the harbor where I live at here, and it floats on top of the water. That's impossible to do at the beach with surf and waves and what have you. What I do there is I use a weight, like a weighted sinker, as we call them for fishing, a fishing sinker, fishing weight, and put it on the end of the wire, kind of fray out the end of it a little bit, just something I like to do. Put it out into the surf, and it stays in place. If it doesn't stay in place, then you probably need a heavier weight. That's something I do there. But two great antennas for verticals to use a ground plane. It's really nice. Another one is you step up and start using, and both of those, I build those with my 7-meter DX Commander pole. And another one, if you're going to step up a little bit, is you can build a 29-foot vertical. With that, I use a 9-to-1 unun with that 29-foot vertical. That's 40 through 6 meters, and it's a great performer. It really is. It's pretty simple to build as well, and it's a great antenna to use on the beach. After that, another one, if I'm not down by the surf and I'm getting up away from the surf, is I build a half wave infed vertical for 20 meters. This was my secret weapon, per se. I use this is a 1010, it's 49-to-1. I put a wire that's cut for a half of a wavelength. Somewhere I usually go around 14.240, and put that up. And I use a single counterpoise wire that I put off the end. I choke it at the feed point and put a counterpoise wire that's 5% of a wavelength at the end and off the side. There's a lot of stuff out there on counterpoise wires and infeds, and that's a debate and a topic, and I'm sure someone will want to argue about that, but it works for me, and that is my secret weapon. That's my QRP go-to on the beach. Say on a Saturday morning, I get down early, put that up. I'm almost always with QRP can get from the East Coast of the United States over to VK and ZL. I mean, Australia, New Zealand, and the States, pretty cool with that antenna. It's my secret weapon. While we're talking about that in power, I've operated on the beach with 100 watts. It's great. It works. And the problem with that is like you got to carry this big battery down there, and there's a lot going on. And I've operated on the beach with low power, 20 watts of my Xiegu G90, many different QRP radios. And man, with that, you got this nice little battery, easier to carry. And I'm going to tell you what, with what's going on around you and the results you're going to get from being next to salt water, 100 watts is a waste of your time. It's too much to carry, too much to lug, and you're not going to enjoy the experience. And as a matter of fact, if you're going down there, it's like I've done it with an FT891, which is a pretty light radio. That's probably the lightest thing you're going to get. You're not going to drag a 991A down to the beach or whatever. Find yourself a small little rig and take it down there. I mean, I've used everything from the $100 cheap QRP rigs you can get on eBay and worked DX, across oceans with it. And my happy medium is the 20 watt radios. They really are great, and I really enjoy them on the beach. They're great to have. Getting down there is another thing. Good, find yourself a bucket. This came from a local hardware chain we have in the States, but good to have because you set everything down. If you're near water, you're near the surf, this is waterproof. If you got your radio in it, wires, whatever, they're not going to get wet. It's good to have. Inside the bucket, something must have a wire tool for wires. When you're trimming an antenna, I always keep a tape measure. My tape measures are cheap, but they have both imperial and metric on them, which is kind of nice. And then for attaching radios to the pole, just cheap. That we get that here. We have a place called Dollar Tree here in the United States. That's $1.50 a roll. I go through it like candy. I really do. But wire, don't overthink wire. I use anything from 20, 22 gauge wire all the way to I buy cheap 16 gauge speaker wire. Experiment. You're at the beach. Have fun. Just build with different things, and you can do that as well. One thing, just a pointer. I really, getting out on the beach in the summertime is tough. It might be easier for you in the winter here in the Northern Hemisphere because the beach is full of tourists. One little trick that I do is our beaches here around us have roped off areas for surfers, and a lot of people don't go there and lay out and camp out on the beach there and sunbathe because they can't get in the water there. It's roped for just surfers. I'll usually look around for this lifeguard. Hey, I'm a ham radio operator. I won't be swimming. I'm just going to play here on the beach. Surfers, I surfed when I was younger. I talked to them. Hey guys have fun. I'm going to be surfing some radio waves up here on there. They're usually interested. Oh, that's cool and whatever, and put it up there. But that's one little trick. If your area where you're going has a surfing area, that's a good place to put a vertical up and enjoy yourself there. If you're around a lot of people, it's going to be a problem. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a problem. So another thing is that's why I really like to operate 20 meter band, because I like to get up early in the morning. Really cool on the East Coast. We get to watch the sunrise. That's a beautiful thing, and operate. And there's usually no one out there. Maybe a guy walking around. Your worst enemy will be a guy walking around with a finder, whatever. He's looking for coins, because you will get a little QRM from that. But and people looking for shells, whatever, walking up and down the beach. But it's usually pretty nice early in the morning, and then late in the evening, people leave, and you have your chances there. And that's usually the best time for the 20 meter band, and that's why that to me is my go-to band for operating on the beach, because I love it. Early mornings for me on the East Coast of the United States is my time to work over like towards the Pacific. I work Japan, Australia, New Zealand from here early in the mornings. Late in the evenings, South America is so easy. I just go through it. And if the band's open, 20 meters a lot of time is still open in Europe. Late afternoons, early evening, I just walk through Europe with great signals there too, with low power, and that's really what it is. I kind of encourage you, if you're going to go to the beach, if you really want the fulfillment and feel like, wow, I did something, go out there with low power. Just don't go over 20 watts. That way it's easy to carry, easy to get down there. You don't need to go down there and be like a big gun, because you're going to get all the big guns and you're going to operate them. You really, there's a sense of achievement when you go down there with some QRP or low power on the beach and operate and have some fun. Anyway, kind of long-winded here. I hope that set you up. I want to get you set up for success. Get out there on the beach. There's a lot of programs. I know I'm not really heavily involved in Beaches on the Air. Something I might start doing, but it's just so much fun. It really is, and a lot. And you're going to find and work some really. It'll almost blow your mind. You're like, what's your QTH? And you've realized that you're sitting on the beach somewhere talking literally long path or the other side of the world. Just some great DX to be had there. Anyway, I got a lot of videos out there on different antennas I've built on the beach and stuff I've talked about. Go through my videos if you like and check them out and build some of this stuff. Let me know about it and have some fun.